Explaining Brazil, 1985. The movie Brazil was released in 1985 and directed by Terry Gilliam of Monty Python fame, who also directed Life of Brian, which wouldn't have happened without the help of Beatle George Harrison. Just saying. Brazil is about a low level bureaucrat named Sam who gets lost in flying fantasies where he has wings and armor pursuing a beautiful floating maiden. In real life, everything is gray and oily. The pipes run through everywhere, explosions at fancy restaurants, and bizarre puppet like robots Terry Gilliam inspired. It's all a bit animated like a cartoon. Everything in the bureaucracy is chaotic and disorganized, and the retro future technology is kind of cute and cool, but there's like papers flying everywhere and identical men in identical suits rushing around delivering paper, and a smushed fly starts off the whole story. Just one error blamed on everyone in between. Buttle confused for Tuttle when Sam delivers the reimbursement check to Buttle's wife after he's like arrested wrongly. She sobs, "What have you done with his body?" Before this scene, Sam is driving his little smart car, and in the ghetto, the large graffiti says reality. And this is so symbolic because Sam is experiencing the reality of his job. He only knows the concrete gray, constantly malfunctioning bureaucracy and his beautiful flying fantasies that make life worth living. He sees his dream girl in real life, and she has short hair in reality, and he chases after her. She doesn't trust a bureaucrat, so she tricks him into thinking he's sexy and then kicks him out of her truck. Sam spent the rest of the movie trying to find Jill. His AC goes out, and Robert De Niro comes in to fix it and says he used to work for Central Services, but he couldn't stand the paperwork. Central Services shows up, uh, who's Bob Hoskins, who plays Eddie Valiant from Who Framed Roger Rabbit, uses his real English accent. And they're totally corrupt. They're acting like corrupt cops. They tear apart all of Sam's apartment, the pipes, the tubes, and the wires, and everything just leaks and blows out steam. And Sam's mother keeps insisting that he take a promotion, and the food in the restaurant is only lumps of mush with fancy names. And Sam finally takes the promotion because it will give him access to information about Jill. And Sam dreams of Jill caged by these like baby mask faced monsters, and she's still floating in this cage, and they're holding her down with ropes. And Sam fights with them, and he sees the samurai boss. The Sam is given, in reality, Sam is given a slightly lighter gray suit. Sam's new office is a utility closet, and he has to share a desk through a wall. Like there's a lot of comedy of them like pulling the desk and trying to get enough room. His neighbor has a computer, and Sam doesn't care about working. He just wants to find Jill. The new department has all the charm and comfort of an empty parking garage. One boss is followed around by a flurry of bureaucrats handing him papers to approve or deny. They never stop moving. Sam sees Jill in the lobby. Uh, at some point, he says, "In my dreams, I love you." I don't know. I put that there, but there are like little robot ID machines, and it identifies her as a dozen men with show up, and they see his light gray suit and badge, and then they like stand at attention. And Sam takes Jill and runs and takes her to his mother's house, which is empty because she's spending Christmas with her plastic surgeon. First of all, this is a Christmas movie, which is totally depressing in this depressing bureaucrat concrete world. And it's a send up of plastic surgery the whole time. His mother is like constantly getting her face tightened, and their friend, has bandages that are increasingly all over her until she's dead. And this is in 1985 that we saw this happening. The rest of the movie is split between fantasy and reality. Sam battles the samurai, and at some point, he the ground actually becomes sentient and grabs his ankles and says, "Don't go, please." It's the reality of the bureaucracy trying to drag him down, and the final boss to defeat for his freedom. Sam is taken to an immensely vast torture chamber where they intend to reprogram him. De Niro breaks in with a team of vigilantes to save him, says, "We're all in it together, kid." Then De Niro gets wrapped up in like these papers blowing around and he disappears. And Jill rescues Sam, and he says something about terrorists, and she says, "Have you ever seen a terrorist?" And I think that implies like all the explosions that randomly happen aren't terrorists. It's just from the really shitty infrastructure that they're not taking care of. Like things just keep exploding and they're like, "It's terrorists." Jill rescues him and they go in the country, except it's all not real. Sam is still in the vast torture chamber, lost in a fantasy of his freedom. What can we learn? Bureaucracy doesn't take your soul away, but it can become compartmentalized, where fantasy and reality become indistinguishable. Get rid of all bureaucracy? Impossible. Just let people be human too. Fantasy helps us evolve. All man made objects started out in someone's imagination. Best not to repress that. Hey, I'm making these videos for tips, so please send a contribution on Venmo or Cash App, and thanks for watching.